So I had studied Yogananda so deeply. His guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar, wrote a book called The Holy Science. And I had never really gotten into it or read it. And I read this book and said, oh my God, there was this section on the 5 hearts. And he's talking about these stages of the human heart and how ultimately we need nothing outside of our hearts. But it was about steadying the heart. It was all these things that he was like speaking to me. And this is where I started to take the really deep heart dive. At the same time, I then connected to the Heart Math Institute, who ultimately we did our heart aligned meditation study with. And taking this deep dive into science, I was like, oh my gosh, incoherence to clear heart harmony corresponds to these Vedic teachings on awakening the heart. So then I started doing these practices and I started meeting with Heart Math and doing some of their practices and their research, which are incorporated in the book. This ultimately saved my life. I would say my marriage got 90% better. I would say my energy went up 70%. And listen, I've been working on nutrition for so many years, working on my gut health, meditating, living this lifestyle, connecting in nature, grounding. I thought I had energy. But then you realize how much energy is pulled down in incoherence when we are battling ourselves in these smaller and bigger ways. The thoughts, the self-doubt, the overthinking, all this depletes our vitality in so many ways. So my energy, my clarity, my lightness just went through the roof. So I started doing these practices. And here's the thing, and you and I were talking about this a little bit. Does John do this work? Not so much, but I do the work. So I've held space for him to come up, and our communication is better. So, and he's talked to like a healer therapist as well. So he has his own ways, but I have mine. But I can say with 100,000%, like this is why I'm so passionate about sharing this. This is the gateway that ties everything in our lifestyle together. And it's right here. It's free. We just have to learn to turn on this heart intelligence. And there's tools and there's science and it all aligns.
So what does that look like in practice? Is it like meditations to connect to your heart?
So the Heart Aligned meditation, which we did a study on, is an 8-minute meditation that anyone can practice. We have tracks to go with this book. There's more about the science in here. And we can run through the steps if you're ever interested in it, or we can do it in a little bit. But basically, you know how a lot of meditations, I started to realize this, are kind of disassociative, taking us out of life. Imagine you're in a happy waterfall, and that's, fine, and it can be helpful for people to relax. But boom, we want to show up in our power. And you talk so much about, beautifully being that queen, being that multidimensional queen, to be queen, to be here, we need to be here. That means we need to be in our hearts. So this is a heart-based meditation. And what we found in our study is that coherence went up an average of 29% in 4 weeks. So what does that mean? That means coherence means your heart and your brain are talking to each other. It means more flow. It means more intuition. It means we can train our coherence capacity. It means more energy on a daily basis, better hormonal balance. And in a month, guess what? Cortisol went down 23%. DHEA went up 100%. DHA is vitality. DHA is essential for fertility, by the way. In today's world where there's so much stress and so much, fragmentation, we wonder why fertility is such a big issue, right? So this is a meditation that builds over time your coherence capacity. So what you do is you go into the heart. So even now, we run through it real quick, and then there's more steps. So just by now, and we'll do it with our eyes closed. If you just shift, we'll do an abbreviated version. If you shift your awareness to your heart right now, and anyone listening can do this with us. You can touch your heart or not. It depends on, what you're drawn to. This alone, we feel it intuitively. Here's my heart. And also, science published in the American Journal of Cardiology shows that just shifting to your heart alone starts to rewire your nervous system. This starts to change your perceptions of life. This starts to change your field. Something as simple as this, shifting to your heart. So now we're going to take a few heart-focused breaths, which means we're going to imagine that we're breathing in and out of our heart like a giant lung. So I'll do the counts 5 in, 5 out. This is known as coherence breathing, 0.01 hertz, known to create that coherence in your heart, that syncing up. So we'll inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll exhale out of your heart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once again, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhaling out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, without counting, just imagine, keep imagining you're breathing in and out of your heart. And while you're doing that, I want you to imagine, recall someone or something that makes you feel appreciation, which is a mix of gratitude and awe, approval. It could be your pet, it could be a beautiful sunset you saw on a trip, it could be a family member. Once you have that person or experience, don't focus, drop the visual and just focus on that feeling in your heart, which may feel expansive, it may feel tingly, warm. Focus on appreciation, and we're going to sustain it for just a moment. And one more moment. Feeling that amazing flow, that expansive energy of appreciation. And now you can bring your hands to your heart or Anjali Mudra, prayer in front of your heart. Just take a moment to thank your beautiful heart and its amazing wisdom and anything else you feel grateful for. And then you can open your eyes.